Other names to consider for, if Ben Johnson leaves includes the Lions tight end passing game coordinator, Tanner Engstrand. I don't know if they would promote. I don't even know if it's a promotion. Running back coach Deuce Staley, because he's also assistant head coach to offensive coordinator. So, Mark Brunell, the quarterback coach. I'm all for Brian Greasy. I wouldn't be in favor of this guy who's interviewing for the Washington Commanders gig right now, and that would be former head coach and former Spartan Pat Shurmur interviewing for the Commander job, along with Atlanta quarterback coach Charles London, Miami associate head coach, running back coach Eric Stoodsville, and Miami passing game and quarterback coach Darrell Bevel. Bring Darrell Bevel back. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I have a couple of names. I think if Ben Johnson does leave, that I think would service well. I think a no-brainer is Pete Carmichael, who knows Dan Campbell from their time together in New Orleans. He's the offensive coordinator down there, and I think we all believe that Dan Campbell's offense is highly influenced by Sean Payton.
Correct.
And probably Pete Carmichael as well. So that might be a good fit, an easy transition. He would know exactly what Dan Campbell wanted, and they, I think, would work well together. And then the other guy that I think actually might be better fit with Jared Goff than anything is a guy that is somewhat similar to Ben Johnson, and that is Zach Robinson out in L.A. He is the Rams quarterback coach as well as passing game coordinator. And when we talk about some of the traits of Ben Johnson's offense, it's how does they know that the ball is going to Amon-Ra St. Brown, yet he still has 10, 11 catches in a game. How does he continue to get wide open? It's the same thing with L.A. when you think about Cooper Kupp. Like, how does he continue to get open? There's a lot of different reasons, but some of it has to do with the passing game coordinator. And it could just be Sean McVay. A lot of it could be Dan Campbell here. But how do you integrate some of those ideas? And they may be very similar how they run their offense as you're seeing Ben Johnson do it now.
Makes sense. Another name to, and everybody will laugh because he was awful as a head coach, and that's Nathaniel Hackett. He knows the division.
Yeah.
He worked with the enemy. He also worked for he was offensive coordinator for the Jaguars for a while. He was offensive coordinator, quarterback, tight ends coach for the Bills at one point. He was offensive coordinator for the Bills a couple of years. He's got a really good resume to be OC.
Let me ask John this, though. I think the stain is too big right now for him. I think a year off for sure, regardless. And because I think it's a tough sell. It's an especially tough sell to a successful offense.
Yeah.
Well,
because if he begins to even start to fail, bullseye. Right? How could Dan Campbell hire this guy? How could you come in here and ruin the Lions' offense with this guy?
Well, again, it goes to how much do we believe it's Dan Campbell's offense and the fact that he wants exactly what he wants. And if it's not going to go that route, now you're not going to hire a guy thinking you're going to fire him 6 weeks into the season, but that's what he had to do with Anthony Lynn.
Right.
So, I think it could be, and you could also, how much of it was Nathaniel Hackett? How much of it was and I've said this before, some guys are really good position coaches. Some guys are great coordinators. Other guys are head coaches. It doesn't necessarily, the same person doesn't necessarily fit all three of those roles. How much of it was Russell Wilson?
Right. Exactly. By the way, do you know what Anthony Lynn's doing right now?
I do not know.
He's the assistant head coach and running backs coach of the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh.
So we'll see some of his work on display this weekend against the Cowboys.